What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me here tonight. We've got a very special guest known as Calypso Jim here with me, aka Bobo Brazil Jr. Sir, it's an honor to have you here today.
Thank you. It's an honor being here. Finally got a hold of me time that I had time.
Well, I think we spent about a year trying to get this together, right? Something like that. And then I finally reached out again. I said, "Hey, are you available?" It matched up, right?
Yep. This is time. I had so much going on, like I'm wrestling for 3 different type of organizations right today. And, to one call, you say, okay, I got you here. Well, I got your whole year booking. Then the next, I got your whole year booking. I'm going like, okay. Then the third one called me and said, I got your whole year booking. I'm going like, man. But all the dates fell in like a week apart.
Right.
And then sometime WCWO would call me, and I've had time I would go there, and I'm going like, gee, you guys don't let an old man rest, do you?
You keep
Y'all
him.
know I've been doing this. I need to get some rest sometime.
Yeah. Well, you've been doing this over 50 years from my research, so you're keeping damn busy, I tell you.
Yes, I've been pretty busy. But
Yeah.
at this point, I love doing it. At first, I didn't love doing it, but now I kind of love doing it, and stuff. Because it's mostly for the kids. Come on, it's not doing that.
Right.
Well,
Right.
mostly, I do it for the kids right now because they love to see me come around and stuff. And everybody said, headbutt. I go, I got a headache. And then they be saying, chop him like my wife, chop him like he stole something. Everybody in the audience, chop him like he stole something. So I go ahead on and chop him. One more time, I go, gee, they think I'm a robot?
It's definitely changed. Sometimes those kids are really active in the scene these days. You know what I mean?
They
They
just
love
love
it.
it. Every show I go in, they run to me. Hey, Mr. Bobo, how you doing? How you doing? I said, I'm doing all right. Can I take your bag? I said, sure, and stuff. And I'm out there in the middle of the arena talking to nothing but kids. I have to tell them sometime, look, it's okay. Y'all excuse me, I got to go back here and get dressed. And then I come out, intermission time. Will you sign this? Would you sign this? Can I take a picture with you? Sure, not a problem.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you've been around, and I have here that you made your debut in 1974. Is that accurate?
That's accurate.
That's accurate. So that's a year before I was. That's a year before I was born. So,
Mm. That's when I did my live TV show with Vince. But
okay.
I have been wrestling around Memphis,
Hmm.
other places in Arkansas, in Missouri, there. But my live TV show was in St. Louis at the Kill, 1994 for Vince. He called me in and stuff, wrestled, and I was even with him when Tony Ellis and Rocky Johnson won the tag team championship.
Wow.
Yep, I was in the back with Andre the Giant at the time drinking wine.
Is it true that that guy could really drink the way that everybody says it?
That guy, hey, I have seen them bring four glasses and a big thing of wine in there 5 times. 5 times. I can't take no more. But I used to take every glass he drunk out of. I had him to sign it, and I would keep the glass.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Andre and I, we got along real good. Me, him, and Ernest
Yeah.
Skolin, we really got along real good.
Really, Arnie Skolland was, of course, he was a very important part of that era,
Oh
and he
yeah.
was he was there up until the '90s, I think, right? Something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Then after that, he got with my partner Flying Andy Shane. We used to go there and we get paid or either get a drawdown, and he go, don't worry about them. Sit here and play cards with me. So we sat there and play cards. And I'm going like, he go, don't worry about it. That's the next show. So we leave there that night, go to another show the next night, and Gorilla Monsoon come in, get dressed. Then Jay Strongbow come in. We're not using. See, I know that game. They played that game. That's the game they play on. Want to tell you to get dressed. That's we don't have nothing for you. Then you be sitting there, Vince come back. Hey, what are you doing? You're supposed to be up next. So you're rushing, trying to tie your boots. Hey, I watched them do Shawn Michael like that, and I go, you won't get me. When they tell me to get undressed, okay, I get up and put my coat on. But I'm still dressed. The next thing you know, there they go. But it's fun being on the road,
Yeah,
and stuff. I've been in places, Japan and stuff. I went to Japan for Dick the Bruiser,
really.
FMW, in 91.
I read that because, they do that was a different style than what,
Right.
I think that you're used to. They did a lot of like deathmatch and hardcore stuff. And
Right.
when I read that you were there, I was very surprised. But, what was it like going to that in the environment?
It was, at first, you get off the plane a mile away. Then they come and send a
Right.
shovel. And then you get off the shovel and walk down in the airport, and then cameras going off. You're like, what is going on? You know, everybody taking pictures of you and stuff. And they rode me in a limousine, and I took the train, which they call a bullet over there. I didn't ride with the other guys.
Mm,
I was always by myself, and stuff, and I had a translator with me. You know. And the first night over there, I broke a boy leg. Young kid. I
oh,
didn't want to do it, but my adrenaline was going. And I'm going like, man. Then I had to fight Leon Spinks, Hulk Hogan nephew, and all the nation. That's why it was called Frontier Martial Art Wrestling.
right.
Every nation was there. We had a tournament. I ended up me and Wado got beat by Leon Spinks and Black something. His name was.
Uh, I have it. I think I have it here somewhere. I'd have to let me see my notes here. But when you're talking about Hogan's nephew, you're talking about Horace?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Hogan,
Yeah.
your boy.
Yeah, I don't have the actual details. I just said that 91 you went to FMW. So yeah, I don't have the actual I could look it up probably while we do that.
There was a lot of nice guys over there. I met guys from New York, and we hung out together. The Phantom team, there was a little Phantom little guys. We all hung out together. It was fun. I loved it over there.
Right, right.
Broke.
Of course, you really made like a big impact in the Midwest area, really, like with the WWA, correct?
Right.
Yeah, and under the Dick the Bruiser, and were you close with Dick the Bruiser? And you worked there for quite some time.
I was real close with Dick the Bruiser because at the time, before I trained Sinister Minister and got him in the business, my kids was down in Arkansas, and their mother had killed her boyfriend.
Oh my
And
goodness.
my son seen me on TV, and he told him, "So that's my dad. That's my dad." So the lady got in contact with Bruiser. Then she got in contact with my mother. My mother was living there. And I said, why is the welfare calling me? Everything paid up. Why is they calling me? But I didn't know she had killed the boyfriend.
Right.
So Dick the Bruiser gave me the championship credit card and his Mercedes Benz. His daughter, Michelle, she had the keys and the credit card. She said, Dad said, get this to you. I said, okay. He told me, him and his wife both, Rio, said, go get your kid. Well, on my way down there, I'm thinking like, okay, I'm going to sing a person. What I'm going to do with these kids when I go get them?
Right, right.
But I went down there and got them, they didn't really. I pulled up at the service station in Dyersburg, Tennessee, and the guy didn't believe a black man be driving in a Mercedes Benz with a championship credit card. So I had to call Bruiser, before he even just give me gas to put in it. I said, hey, it's not stolen. I looked, state trooper pulled up, so I called Bruiser on the phone. He was in Florida. I said, hey, they said I stole his vehicle and his credit card. Said, put him on the phone. Put him on the phone right now. And he go like, why is you saying he stole that credit card? It's my credit card. My name is Dick the Bruiser, William Alpha, and said that shit will be on that card. So they looking. So one of the state troopers knew because he had wrestling in Memphis
Hmm.
and knew his voice. And said, yeah, that's Dick the Bruiser. He go, why should Jim steal a credit card, especially my credit and my car, and they've been reported? He said, he said, I don't know about you guys. So they gave me gave me the credit card back, and I went on down and through Memphis there and stopped a little while at a restaurant. And then I left there and went on down in a little place called Mark Tree, Arkansas. That's where my kid's mother was living at the time. And I got my two kids. The sheriff made us, he didn't make us, he just asked them, say, you should go on and sign them over to him. So they signed them over to him, and here I go back. On my way back, I get a call from Vince. Can you be in Cincinnati? And a week from now, I said, sure, not a problem. I'm still got it in my head. What I'm gonna do with these kids? So I get back and I told Bruce, I said, thank you. I'll pay for the gas. He said, no, don't worry. He called the kids and then he looked at them and so they said, when you wrestle, just leave them here. And I said, well, Vince called me. Bruiser didn't too much like that, but he said, as long as you're getting paid, it's okay. And he didn't have nothing for me for the next month or two ago. During the summertime, it's kind of like a dry season for WWA.
Right.
So Vince, they kept the kids every night that I wrestled. And one thing about it, Bruiser made sure I was making money. He
Mm-hmm.
did that. Even when he sent me to the NWA, he made sure I was making money when I wrestled Ric Flair. So I didn't have, we got along real good, and stuff. One thing about it, he didn't like for you to lie to him. He didn't like that at all.
Right.
So when I brought Sinister Minister in, Robert Warner, when I brought him in the business, he go like, is this kid okay? I go, yeah. He go, well, I'm going to take your word for it. So, well, Sinister and I, we become best friends. We travel all over together and stuff. So I really had a good time in wrestling, and stuff with the friends
Yeah.
that I had and stuff. But nobody would believe I would be still going. I didn't believe I'd be still going today because I seen so many fell off. Like Bobby Cope was the champion at one time before I won the belt in '86. I just couldn't understand what happened. Then I realized all that drinking and doing drugs was tearing their body down, and I didn't do
Right.
that.
Right.
I didn't do that at all. So it come a line draw when the old man Bobo caught his son doing drugs. The one that had the name Bobo Brazil Jr.
Mm-hmm.
He called me to Ben Harbor, so I goes up. I used to go up there and cut his yard for him because they wouldn't cut his yard when his health got bad.
Right.
So he wanted to go to Niles with me, Niles, Michigan. I said, sure. I got plenty of room. Ain't nobody but me. So me, Andy, Shane, and guy at the time named was Bounty. We all hung out together in a Dice Man running Vegas. And we got to Niles after the match was over with. I mean, it was hot out there too. It was hot. I was sweating. I told my partner, and I said, boy, I'm gonna be your size after a while. We keep wrestling in this hot sun, man. I done got a tan and everything. So on my way to get out the ring, make a long story short, he called me Puppy. He said, hey, Puppy, get back in the ring. I said, what do you want me to get in the ring for? Hot as it is. Shit, I'm trying to get with some air and some cold water. So I get back in the ring and I stand there. He said, ladies and gentlemen, say, you see a young man standing in the ring? Everybody look at him. It was a pretty good crowd out there. Everybody standing there looking at me, clapping and going. I said, what are they clapping for? Guy brought me the paper, the ring. I looked at the paper. I had the copyright of the name Bobo Brazil Jr. He said, from this day forward, he's not Calypso Jim no more. He's Bobo Brazil Jr. My son, everybody started clapping and going on. I'm going like, oh, I'm dead. I got to fight with Carl now. And believe me, I went around with Carl with the name several times,
Right.
But I had the copyright of it, and it was notarized, so that's what kept, every lawyer Carl brought to me, he brought several lawyers to me. And they looked at that, they told him, say, nothing you can do.
And he gave the right. He gave the rights to the name. Gave you the rights to the name.
He gave me the rights to the name in Niles, Michigan.
And so you mean that you guys had a great relationship with Bobo Brazil. So it seemed like it. Like I know that you guys worked together for a little bit on TV as well.
Yeah, he took over managing me. And
Yeah.
then I went to the Hall of Fame with him and stuff. And, Vincent invited me there. And told me they glad to have me and stuff. And we was in Baltimore, Maryland, and they go, "We having a big show tonight. You want to work?" I'm going like, "Now, I know who he's going to give me to work. I already know who he was going to give me, Mr. Fuji." I could never I could never understand what he was talking about half the time.
Right.
I remember he said, "Spread your legs." But I thought he said, "Grab the leg." I reached down to grab a leg. He said something in his language. I guess it was no, no. He lifted my chin up and chopped the blood out of my chest. Bam. I said, "Oh, I know what you mean now." Spread the
Mhm.
leg. So I spread my leg. You know, he get that kick like he usually do. So I get back to the dressing room and he looked at the old man. He said, "He's a good kid. He just needs lots of work, lots of work." So Vince gave me a lot of work. He had me to
Yeah.
wrestle Murdoch that night. He had me to wrestle John Studd. You know, then I turned around and I wrestled Rocky, Adrian
Hmm.
Adonis. I did all these different tapes. You know, never beat
Right.
nobody. I count the lights every time I went down. I'm going like, man. But John Studd was a character.
Yeah.
He kept telling me, he said, "Duck the elbow." I ducked the elbow. He said, "Duck it again, you know, backwards, duck the clothesline, duck this elbow." Then I like, what he's gonna do? As I ducked, my knee went in the back of his knee. You know, and he had weak knees.
Right.
Down he went. He said, "Cover me." And I'll never forget this. I covered him. He pitched me over the top rope. I said, "Oh boy," my stomach hit. Oh man, that hurt. That hurt. He gets out the ring. He pressed me over his head and threw me back over there. And he gets in there and pinned me and said, "Good job, kid." And I'm going like, "What?" Oh, I finally catch my breath now. So as I'm walking back, I see this lady up there saying, "Baby, why you keep coming out here? You just gonna get beat every time." Later on, you know who it was? Sapphire.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It was Sapphire. I said, "I can't believe." She ended up managing me for a long time in independent. She did.
Okay.
And I
All
said,
right.
"I never believed that I would see you in the dressing room and you had, she didn't even know nothing about wrestling."
Right.
Vince did that, brought her in for Dusty Rhodes that night to embarrass Dusty Rhodes. But it worked out good.
I mean, I think that he embraced it really, right?
Yes, it did.
You can give him give him the worst idea and he's going to make the best of it and get it over. That's the kind of guy he
He
was,
did.
really.
Yep, that's kind of how he did. So that went on for a while, and everybody enjoyed it. And a lot of people didn't understand, but I learned a lot from Self-Eye.
Yeah.
Oh, I did. I learned a lot from him. I learned the do's and the don't on the outside of the ring, and my old man would teach me the do's and the don't on the inside of the ring, and plus the other wrestlers, like I said, Mr. Fuji and John Studd and all of them. They helped, but Tony Atlas and Rocky Johnson just seemed like they couldn't get along because Rocky's supposed to have pinned me. He put me in his finish and pinned me. Then Tony Atlas get me up and press me over the head and slam me and cover me. I'm like, what's going on? I get pinned twice in one night. You know? So they gets back in the dressing room, they argue. You know?
Right. Right.
I said, wow, man, what is going on here in this place?
Uh,
And
I know.
that's the way it was in the WWF at the time.
Yeah. Where was that mostly? Like New York, like Northeast?
New York, St. Louis,
Yeah.
Cincinnati, Baltimore, Maryland. I was several of them places. I even took a trip with them to. It was Australia. That's where we went to Australia.
Okay.
And I'm looking at the kangaroos hopping everywhere. I'm like, man, this is something new to me.
Did you ever come to Connecticut when you working
Yes.
for them at all? Yeah. Whereabouts?
I wrestled in the big what you call it. It's been a long time now, but I wrestled Marty Jannetty there.
Okay. New Haven, maybe?
Yeah, I believe it was New Haven.
Okay.
Because Shawn Michael was acting like he was a little bit afraid to wrestle me. And I said, he don't want to wrestle me. And Marty said, no. said, okay. So Gorilla Monsoon told Marty, go out there and have a good match. I made Marty look like $1 million and came back. Everybody was looking at Shawn Michaels and said, that could have been you. That could have been, and that's something I didn't get along with Shawn Michaels. I didn't know much about him. But Marty
Right.
and I got along real good, and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I met them both over the years, and they all seem like they both seem like pretty good guys at some point.
Yeah, but
Uh,
they are pretty good guy, but he just had different ideas about wrestling. So many people, he's like, I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to get hurt.
right.
You know. So I guess that's why he didn't want to wrestle me. I was built a lot better, then and stuff. I was all muscles and stuff, and I said, wow, he don't want to wrestle me. You know. I had
Uh,
got I got about another 5 years experience in the ring, and I know how to handle myself pretty good.
Jimmy Valiant, Boogie Woogie Man.
Legendary Boogie Woogie Man.
Wait a minute, baby. Wait a minute. Hang on.
What are you doing around
What was that
here?
calling you, buddy?
This is
that
our
Jamie?
neighborhood.
You
This
done
is a
made a
young man's
mistake.
game.
You should be retired, Boogie.
Wait a minute, boys. Let me take a bite of my king dog.
You say King Dog?
King dog?
Is that what you said?
What?
What happened?
Come on, boy.
Don't let hunger bully you. Get yourself a king dog, and you too can become a super hunger fighter.
Secondhand Heroes and Home for Wayward Villains is a comic book shop and gaming store that also features Magic the Gathering and D&D. Located at 18184 Leesville Road in Evington, Virginia, Secondhand Heroes is your one-stop shop for you to get your nerd on. Open 7 days a week at 11 a.m. They don't close until the dice stop rolling. They buy, sell, trade, barter, and haggle, specializing in collectible toys, both vintage and modern, comics, Magic the Gathering, video games, console, and arcade cabinets to play, all set to free play. Host your game night with us. Monday night D&D video game competitions, and so much more. Something for the collector and gamer in us all. Call 434-317-0121 or shoot us an email with any questions to secondhandheroesva@gmail.com. Note, secondhandheroesva@gmail.com. That's 2ND, handheroesva@gmail.com. Come game with us.
You got to work with Dave McClain early in his career as well as an
Yes,
announcer, and he was working basically for WWA, doing announcing, and he obviously became a famous women's promoter for several different companies over the years.
The first set of Glow Girls, I trained them right there in Indianapolis
Okay,
at the Hooja Dome. I trained them, and then I choreographed all their matches.
right.
That's why you see me as a referee in there, because I was choreographing the matches.
Interesting. That's interesting. I never realized that. I mean, there was I was watching where you got attacked in the locker room and Dave McClain by the Hogs, the Wild Hogs, and
Yes.
Dave McClain's just standing there screaming security, whatever, into a microphone, and I was like, he could have done better, So
That's Dave. Dave was a character. He was something. He was a nice guy. Everybody thought that he
Right.
was a butthead, but he really was a nice guy. Cause the story that I'll never forget about him. Here I am. I'm the world's heavyweight champion for WWE. We were flying down the highway to Toledo, 100 and something miles an hour. The state trooper pulled us over. He said, "You know how fast you're going?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "But I'm trying to get the superstar to we was in Detroit then. I'm trying to get him to Detroit." The state trooper said, "You're going to kill him getting him there. You're going to kill him driving this fast trying to get him there." He said, "Do you know this here?" He said, "This is Calypso Jim, the world's heavyweight champion." He looked over at me and said, "Congratulations, here's your ticket."
It sounds like a cop right there. Yeah.
I laughed all the way there, And the next fun I had with me and Scott Steiner was traveling together and stuff a
Yes,
lot.
I saw that today, and I thought it was interesting because that's actually the first time I saw him was in Memphis, and then I didn't realize he had worked the WWA until a couple years later. When I
Yeah,
through
that's where he
getting
got
tapes.
started.
Yeah,
That's where he started with them.
yeah. So, what was it like teaming with him so at such a young age? Really, I mean, I think he was in WWE or WCW probably 2 years later. I think, right?
Yeah, it was great. What it is, he first went to WCW.
Hmm.
They sent him back. They said, "We want Calypso Jim. We don't want him." So I went and wrestled a little bit. So when I come back, I told Scott, "Look, you go down to Memphis and start there, and then go and catch up with your brother there. Go get your little training up under your belt down there, get a little bit more experience." And he went down there and he did it. He made it. you know. But being, with it, it was very, very educated, traveling with a Big Ten wrestler. I know a lot about high school wrestling and stuff and college wrestling. And I wrestled when I was in school, but I didn't get a chance to do but a couple of meets and stuff. But the travel with him, it was a great experience. I mean, he didn't talk about, much about it at school. Most he talked about is he had pictures of his girlfriend.
Hmm.
Nude. But he was fun to travel with, and he was a good friend of mine and stuff, and you can tell when he had something on his mind because he would not give you a straight answer.
Mm,
You can ask him something, he go, "It doesn't make any difference. That's what it is." And then you knew it was something on his mind then.
right.
You knew something was wrong, and stuff.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was ready to go to the big time. So he went.
Yeah, and he got there too. I mean, you spent,
Oh,
with a
he had all the tools just like I did to make it. But
yeah. Yeah, he ended up becoming one of the biggest wrestlers in the world, I think in the later 90s, right? The early 2000s as well.
yeah, I think in 2004, we got a chance to meet at a show and talk about the old times and stuff, and stuff. They let us tag one more time together and stuff. They said, "Y'all a great tag team." Yeah, we could have stayed like that, but
Right.
unfortunately, we couldn't.
Uh One of the things I wanted to ask you about was you tagged with Chris Carter for quite some time. And
Oh yeah,
then it turned into Chris turning heel and you teaming up with Scott against Chris and that I don't have in my notes who his partner was. I'm sorry. Dr. Jerry Graham, I believe. Um
it was Dr. Jerry Graham and Chris, then it was Bulldog Don Kent,
that's right. That's right. Yep.
and then it was uh, Muhammad Jihad Saad.
Okay.
And so I had to fight all of those guys, and then I had to fight Wojo, the great Wojo.
We recently lost him a few months ago, right?
Yeah, Greg and I, we was real close friends. I'd call him, talk to him and stuff. Stuff. He always bring up like, "Hey Jim, you remember we was wrestling? You dumped me on my head." I go, "Yeah." It came for a shoot there for a minute.
Right. He
Uh,
had a legit amateur background as well.
Oh yeah, he had a good amateur. His amateur time was so good. He went to Japan and came back. They
Right.
told, he thought he was going back, and they said, "No, he's too rough. We don't want him back. He's too rough." But Jerry Graham told me that it messed me. I said, "Wait a minute, you mean tell me he went to Japan? They told him it's too rough." I said, "He got to be a tough guy then." So I'm
Yeah,
telling
because it's you watch out there, they work very stiff out there.
you, yeah, they work very tight, very
Yeah.
tight.
Yeah. There was a promo with you and Bobo Brazil that I found very interesting that you're being interviewed by Dr. Jerry Graham. And some of the wording that Mr. Graham used was not exactly, appropriate, I think. It was very
Right.
kind of racist comments. And I'm sitting
Yeah.
here watching this. Of course, this was probably 40 some odd years ago. So, and I was just like, it's hard to believe that they, get away with that on TV back then in the
Yeah, but
80s. But
we back then, Rick, we did what it took to to put the business over.
Right.
You see, the word
Yeah.
we used wasn't meant to harm nobody, but that's what we had to do to put the business over. Then later on, Jerry Graham cut my hair, and then later on, I ripped his clothes off in the ring.
Right.
See, that's how we brought that big anger up for the Bruiser to come in and tag with me. The reason Bruiser got a chance to tag with me because Senior daughter had passed away, and he wasn't able to come and tag with me. You see. So that's how Bruiser got it. If you watch the show, that's how Bruiser coming there against Dr. Jerry Graham and Bulldog Don Kent.
Right.
And we're at the Sofitel. It wasn't at the Sofitel. It was the one in Detroit, 14 miles of Van Dyke. We sold it out. Premier Center. We sold it out. I mean, people come from everywhere just to see that match. And
That's awesome.
we had a good time in it. But what gets me, a lot of guys see me right today. I remember you got your hair cut and cried in the ring. So right today they remember that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, wow. But that's the way the wrestling business goes,
Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
What about working with was it the Wild Hogs and Sal Creechman? That guy was quite the character himself. I thought.
I trained him.
Yeah.
Yep, I trained him. So we had to make his gimmick work. And then Bruiser stayed on him because, he ended up marrying Bruiser's daughter.
Right.
Bruiser stayed on him. So I said, Jim, make something out of him before I kill him. So we had to do, what it took to put the show over with him.
Right.
But you should see us backstage, man. We be in his face, yeah, you're going to do it like this. This is the way you're going to do it. You're not going out there and do it the way you want to do it. And then really, I think what put his character over is when I dressed as Princess Jasmine. I don't know that you see that match or not.
I don't think I've seen that one. No.
I dressed as Princess Jasmine right there at the Tyndale Armory in Indianapolis. And they say it's not going to work. So big daughter, Shell, she put the false eyelashes on. She put the makeup on and stuff. And she put the wig on. Everything. So I go out there. So I started beating the mess out of him. And then I told him, I said, when I get done beating the mess, my back turned. You come in and so that made him feel a lot comfortable when he came in and got a little revenge. And then Senior come out and saved me.
Right.
So he started doing better after he see we wasn't going to kill him. So usually everybody come in and they scared we're going to kill him, if they do something wrong. But we put his character over there. But working with him and the Hogs, J.R. Hogg was real good. Lanny, he was very, very good until he decided to have a little drink before he get in the ring, and that's when you get a little stubborn. He kind of act like he was a little lost, but they was a good tag team together, but you could keep them and stuff.
I thought they were a good tag team. They were kind of like, I mean, they were kind of brutal to watch. I mean, not in a bad way, like in a good way. You know what I mean? They go in there and just beat the crap out of you.
Yeah, I mean, I love working with them. I worked with JR. We went to NWA and worked with JR when he came back from Japan on a tour. And I didn't know who he was because he had lost a little weight. I'm going like, why is this guy keeping his back turned to me? But every time I go to walk in the front, to ask him, hey, guys, what we're going to do, he kept his back turned. So his partner would do all the talking. I said, hey, what? He can't talk? What's his problem? He wouldn't let me see who he was till we got in the ring, and he still had his back turned. So I was with Frankie Adonis, was my tag partner. So I pulled my jacket off. Frankie didn't wear a jacket to the ring. And I had my back turned. I was stretching around. I turned around. There he is standing at me. He go, oh, it's going to be an easy night. It's going to be an easy night, Bubby. It's gonna be no. And, like I said, they're very, they worked rough, but they was the light as a feather in that ring.
Right.
You know, and then that, you know, the World Warriors came along, not the Road Warriors. I worked with both of them. You know,
Hmm.
Hawk now, me and Hawk won the tag team championship. You know, and we supposed to went over to Japan to defend them. You know, and stuff. But we worked with the World Warriors.
Okay.
They was out of Chicago, boys out of Chicago, and stuff. And they was pretty good, but you could tell they was beefed up on the juice. You know, and they was a little hard
Right.
hit.
Right.
You know, and stuff. So they didn't work out too much. You know, they didn't work out.
Right. Right.
It was
Uh,
fun working with those guys.
Now I know when the Sinister Minister, friend of the show, obviously, great guy, Robert Wermes.
He's a really great.
Yeah, great guy. I just spoke to him the other day on the telephone. Thank you for giving me a call to check in on me. I was hospitalized recently, so he checked in on me. And one of the things I remember having a great conversation with him, and he was telling me how World Class was trying to come up to the to the Midwest, into Chicago and stuff like that. And you got to work some of those shows. You got to work like Iceman King Parsons and Buddy Roberts for those shows. What was it like working those shows and getting the experience? Yeah.
Buddy Robert would hit you so hard you felt like crying. But he wanted you to lay it back on him. So I laid it back on him, you know.
Right.
Iceman, he was the most difficult character, but if you listen at him, you had a good match. So, you know, Texas guys worked a lot different the way we did.
Right.
And stuff. But I even got a chance to work with Brickhouse Brown and tag once with Calvin, you know, Ron Eric and stuff.
Right.
Got a chance to work with Beauty. He was there, Beauty Garvin and stuff.
Oh yeah. Terry Garvin, that was his real name, right?
Terry, yeah.
Yeah,
Everybody,
yeah.
I had a chance to work with him. He's a great worker.
Yeah.
But Iceman Parsons, you know, these days I don't think he could work with none of the guys. He got a son working. But the way the guys work now, I don't think, because he was a storyteller.
Right.
In the ring and out the ring, he was a storyteller. We was in Chicago, one part of Illinois, one Chicago, at a Catholic church wrestling, and we did this thing with who was the man. That's how we recognized one another on the phone. If I got on the phone and called, he go, "Who is this?" I said, "Who is the man?" You know, then he called me. I like, "Who is this man?" You know, boy Simon. He said, "Who is the man?" So we did that at the show. He got me on the outside, you know, bam, bam. Who's the man? Ram my head against the post. Who's the man? So by comeback, I did him the same way. So we really had a good time. Stuff.
That's
I worked with the life of Mr. Hughes, you know, stuff.
Curtis Hughes.
Curtis Hughes.
Yeah.
We worked for Classic Championship Wrestling out of Marion, Ohio. I was the world's heavyweight champion up there.
Okay. Tell me about that. I never heard of that.
You never heard of that? And it's a guy by the name of Scott Spears on a radio station.
Okay.
They were on it, and I don't know what they seen in me to make a champion, you know. But I wrestled Butcher the Beef, Chief Alakula Kula. You know, I wrestled all those guys up. Everybody they brought in, I beat them. Tony Ellis and I never did Clyde. We supposed to be Clyde, but we never did. It ended up Thunderbolt Patterson came there and said, "You shouldn't put them two guys together because they're some of the best wrestlers that it is." So I didn't get a chance to wrestle Tony Ellis. You know, we just traveled together. Each time Classic Championship Wrestling had a show. You know, it was a great show. I worked with some great talent.
Yeah, it sounds like you worked with everybody back in the day, from that area, even from the NWA. When did you go over to the NWA? Was that for Crockett?
I went over for NWA the first time for Crockett in Central Illinois. I had to work twice at the high school. They went back twice. The last time I went, I wrestled Ric Flair.
Okay.
1 solid hour.
Jeez.
And then, like I said, the second time I got a chance to work with J.R. Hogg and his tag team partner. But, working with the end up, and then when they came to Toledo, the new owner wanted to see how did I work, what did I do, and how did I do it. So they put me into managing a little bit and then announcing a little bit, and then they decide to put me in the ring. And when they did that, they had to drop the belt to me. They didn't want to drop the belt, but they had to drop the belt. And then I held the belt for, I think, about a good 6 months because I was the world heavyweight champion for WW. Bruiser Bellum. It was Bruiser Bellum at the time. I
Right.
held I held the belts there for like 2.5 years.
Okay.
I had it really till I had I had a stroke. That's what I did.
Okay.
And then finally, when I got myself back together through rehab and stuff, I came back pretty quick, less than a year. And I wasn't able
Yeah.
to wrestle. Jerry asked me to just to show up at the show in Toledo. They was in a bar. And I met all the guys. The guys shook my hand and stuff. So the most emotional part about that is that when I got in the ring, finally when I got in the ring, because they had to help me in the ring, and I didn't know why they wanted me in the ring, and I'm going like, man, I'm on a cane. Why they want me in the ring? You know. So I get to the ring, and every champion came out of the dressing room and laid their belts down before me, put what they can on my shoulder, and they turned around and said, ladies and gentlemen, this is the real world's heavyweight champion. That's when I got very emotional and water started running down, like,
Right. Right.
I appreciate you guys, for doing that, And most of the guys gave me half of their payday.
What?
Yeah, they did that right there. And that's when, I always loved the Jerry because he always took care of his guys. I mean, we got fussed at me and Andy, but we got fussed. But that's the way a tag team is, Jerry pushed us to the limit. He really
Right.
did. Me,
Right.
Andy Shane, Chris Carter, we got pushed to the limit. We did. So, I guess that's what made us better wrestlers.
Yeah. I mean, I started watching Chris Carter stuff somewhat recently. I've and him teaming with you in some of his single stuff, and I think that he was quite the exceptional worker. If you ask me, I
Uh,
thought he was great.
he was. Chris Carter's a great worker.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, you got a chance in, I don't know, maybe earlier 2000s to wrestle Johnny Stewart for the AWA World Title at that time period. Do you remember this at all?
Yeah.
I interviewed
I think
Johnny, I think last year.
I think I wrestled in South Dakota too.
Okay. I don't remember where. I gotta find it up here. I got it up here somewhere. But he was, I had a chance to interview him for about, we went on for about an hour, and I thought that he was a very fun interview, and he's always his experiences in the world of professional wrestling were quite fun.
Yeah, he was a fun guy. He was, but when he took over part of the NWA. Him
The
and
the AWA, yeah, the
the
AWA, yeah, him
right?
and Dale Gagne, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they took over, but
Well, I think they ended up they took it over, but then they ended up getting sued by, I think, WWF or WWE later for, I guess they were using the name without permission, even though I guess they claimed they own part of it or something like that. But then they ended up having to change the name to, or altering the name of somehow. So
yeah, I haven't seen Stewart in a while. I think last time I seen it was me and him and Dice Man was together.
okay,
And we was in this arena in Chicago. And King Kong Bundy was on the card and stuff. And Dice and I was wrestling. We tore the place up. I get some plat in the mail about a month later said, Calypso Jim, a.k.a. Bobo, Dice Man Ronnie Vegas had the greatest fuse that had ever been. I don't even remember that. I didn't, Rick. I didn't remember it.
That's funny.
Wife, I said, where did this come from? She go, you don't remember that? I go, no, I don't remember that.
I mean, you do so much, you're not going to remember everything, you know?
Right. But the one I do remember, Dice and it was, let me think about who Dice's partner was. I think it was J.J. Bauer, the bounty hunter.
Okay.
Flying and the Shane was my partner. We was up in Cleveland, Ohio. And Jimmy Snooker was there. And they go, the guy promoter come in there. He handed us our pay. And he said, Snooker's the main event. So I said, hey, guys, let's pull a trick on Snooker. Let's go out there and work our butt off. And I said, first thing Snooker says, don't put me behind them no more. So we went out there and worked our butt off. We used cheers. They hit me in the head with cheer. I wouldn't sell it. That's what messed the peoples up.
Ah,
I turned around and hit Butler. I mean, Dice doubled a chair over my head. He did. I turned around and hit Butler. The crowd went nuts. We get back, we laughing and talking and going on. As a guy, we better get on the highway because, Cleveland is a long way from us. Andy was from Michigan, Bounty, he was from Waterloo, Indiana, and I was out of Indianapolis at the time. And Andy, he was out of Brooklyn, Michigan. So we go to get on the road. Jimmy told the promoter, well, what the hell is wrong with you? I can't go out there and follow that. And he was a character. He really was.
yeah, I met him a couple times. He was a nice guy the couple times I met him. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and different. I sit and think of days, Rick, the guys that I travel with, and the funniest guy that it was the Sheik.
The original Sheik.
Not Zeb, the
Okay.
Sheik, the other Sheik.
Okay.
He was the funniest guy. You pick him up at the airport, he want a gimmick. You got gimmick. Man, Andy looked at one another, Andy was ready to go off because he don't do no type of drugs. Not none. And I said, Andy, I know what he's talking about because back in the day when I first started, I said, that's what they used to call marijuana. You're not going to put that in my car. No way you go. So we took him to the Reno, and we got Malcolm Monroe to go get him some. But I try to explain to my partner, Andy, that's how it is. That's exactly how it is. Even the guy that did the comic book on me, that's what he did. And Andy would not go to his house. I'm not going up there to smell that stuff. I had to go up there and do autograph signing,
Right.
And stuff. And I said, Andy, you won't be in the house. We'd be in the street fair. The street fair. He wouldn't go there with me at all, And I appreciate being guys around there, Rick, because it helped me more.
Right.
And stuff. And you think about Carl, which he always been closest to the brother, Carl Harris. That's why he lost the name, because he got busted in the van smoking. And the old man told me in Kokomo, Indiana, I was leaving out the door. And stuff was the girl there wanted to date me. I said, okay, we're going, let's go. We said, Kokomo, Indiana. That time, I get halfway up the steps. He said, hey, puppy. I said, yes, sir. He said, go back and put your boots back on. The girl looked at me. I looked at the girl. I said, hey, I don't question him. So I go back and put my boots on. And I'm wondering, okay, the original Bo Jr. is supposed to be tagging with him. Where is he at? Carlin got mad and went back to Michigan. And I'm wondering what's going on. He never told me. That's one thing he didn't question on me. He never told me. He just said, follow me home. I said, okay. So I stayed all night there. Mama Shorty, she got up and cooked and stuff. So I'm figuring somebody going to tell me. but did nobody tell me what wrong. I didn't find out what was going on until about almost a year later. Well, I found out he got fired. He wasn't allowed to use the name no more. We went up to a thing that Moolah was doing, the Fabulous Moolah was doing. That's when I found out.
Oh, okay.
He kept calling me Junior, and I'm going like, I'm not Junior. I mean, we wanted, me and him wanted to tag, me and Carl wanted to tag team belts for Moolah. And she said, you're Junior. I said, no, I'm not. I said, Carl is Junior. She said, there's no more Carl. You're Junior. So I guess she know what she was talking about in the first beginning. So
Right.
And like I said, I got a chance to meet Mae West. She was a very funny lady, and stuff.
Yeah, I saw. You could tell by seeing her on TV that she was very funny. That she seemed like she was willing to do anything as long as it was part of the show.
Part of the show. That's the way she was. She was.
Yeah, even in her, I guess, her older age.
Yep.
So
He was still being, and we I live in Louisville now. She came here once. I went to the Greyhound station to do something I went, and she was there. They spoke and took her to the airport, but somebody took her to the Greyhound station. So I said, I'll take her to the airport. And she kept looking at me. She said, Junior? I said, yeah. She said, well, how was y'all? Great balls of fire. I never thought I'd run into you. So I took her there and sat there with her till her plane got ready to depart. And stuff. That's the last time I seen her. Stuff.
right.
Wow, man, it's a small world.
Secondhand Heroes and Home for Wayward Villains is a comic book shop and gaming store that also features Magic the Gathering and D&D. Located at 18184 Leesville Road in Ebbington, Virginia, Secondhand Heroes is your one-stop shop for you to get your nerd on. Open 7 days a week at 11 a.m. They don't close until the dice stop rolling. They buy, sell, trade, barter, and haggle. Specializing in collectible toys, both vintage and modern, comics, Magic the Gathering, video games, console, and arcade cabinets to play, all set to free play. Host your game night with us, Monday night D&D video game competitions, and so much more. Something for the collector and gamer in us all. Call 434-317-0121 or shoot us an email with any questions to secondhandheroesva@gmail.com. Note, secondhandheroesva@gmail.com. That's 2ND, handheroesva@gmail.com. Come game with us.
It's AIWF. Wanna see the best wrestling? Where to connect? The squared circle, the place you have to earn your respect. So get right with the program or you'll get left. AIWF across the US and all over the globe. We are live and direct. So tune and see who wins and lose stuff for the Lord. This match just got you over.
They thought I was gonna, me and our troop was gonna have a little, run in because he was wearing his hair like I was wearing mine. So we,
Right.
but when I seen him, my screen done froze on me.
They did it.
Yeah, my screen froze on me for some reason.
You're
There
fine.
we-
You're working fine on my end. So
There you go. It's
All
like
right.
mine froze on mine.
all right.
We was, matter of fact, we was Detroit at the Kill. Joe Louis Arena. When they brought him in, and there I got beads in my hair. But I wrestled at Calypso Gym like that. And Vince wanted me to wrestle at Calypso Gym that night. He didn't want me to wrestle at Bobo Brazil Jr. because Sting was on the card.
Mm-hmm.
And we standing looking at it, and everybody telling, man, he's going. That's his gimmick, man. That's been his gimmick for years, And so I looked at Ron. I said, Ron, how's your mother doing? He said, you know my mother? I said, yes, I know your mother. And stuff. He said, so she's doing all right. So he got up on and said, he said, Mama, some guy here saying he know you. So she said, send me a picture of him. She said, yeah. She said, I know who that is. That's all we said. She said to him, That's all I said to him. I know your mother. She said, I know who that is. He questioned me all that night. How do you know my mother? How do you know my mother? But I had a lot of fun with those guys. You know the guy that I never got a chance to meet,
Who's that?
John Cena.
He might not get a chance. He's retiring soon, right?
I never got a chance to meet him in his young days when he first started.
Right. And you were.
I met
Excuse me.
I wrestled Triple H.
You did.
Yeah. He told everybody, just, can he work? So I played the mind game on him. I went over there and got, hey, can this guy work, man? They go, I don't know. So we worked. We had a good match. Stone Cold, I gave him his first match. Diamond Truck Stop on 75. Gave him his very first match. He was on his way to WCW.
Was that in Texas or no?
No, that was right
No.
there. That was right there at Diamond Truck Stop. What's that, 75?
Okay.
I gave his very first match for him.
That's okay. I thought it was Texas. I could be wrong. All right.
Nah. I mean, he was trained in Texas, but how he got over there, I don't know. He was headed to WCW. I guess he went to Detroit and wrestled somebody.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We was at the truck stop. He stopped. He said, how can I have a good match with somebody? And Nick Bockwinkel told himself, if you find Calypso Jim, you'll have a pretty good match. So Prince Mama Muhammad was there. And Wild Man, they was there. Wild Polynesian Man, they were tagging together. And there was a couple more guys there. I didn't know that much about, but when he come in there, he's asking them all, so they go like, hey, Jim, a guy looking for you. I'm standing there looking at him. And I'm like, well, who is this? He wasn't heavy as he was. He was slim. I said, who is this? So he said, I'm looking to have a good match with somebody. I need to get a video so I can take it with me. He said, who is Calypso Jim? So I turned around. I said, that's me. And I can tell he was real. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do that. I said, you ain't doing all that wrestling me. I gave him the match he wanted. It's showing that he could work and he could sell. So I gave him exactly the match he wanted. And as soon as he got to WCW, Dusty Rhodes looked at him and said, you don't know who that is? He said, that's the first time I met him. He said, no, that's Calypso Jim. Now, me and Calvin couldn't get along, or the Taskmaster, we couldn't get along.
Right.
At all. Cause Sullivan came in there. Sullivan came in there. He tried to bully all the young guys, but it didn't work.
Right.
I gave Sabu his very first match. As the Lord is my witness, they asked Sabu to beat me over there. Him and the original Sheik, they told him no. So I gave his very first match with nobody wrestled Sabu. We was in Johnstown, Ohio. Nobody would wrestle him. And Zeb asked me, he said, would you go out there and wrestle? I said, sure, I'm not scared of wrestling. I go out there and I go, like, what can you do, kid? He said, whatever you want me to do. I said, I tell you what, if he was living, he'll tell you the same story. I said, if you drop kick me 10 times and don't get down to my mouth, I said, I'll wrestle you. He was out there training. He did it. That guy was so light on his feet, it was a crying shame. He was very light. He did it, and it went on. And we was in Jody Hamilton in WCW. Told Sabu, I want you to go out and beat Bo Jr. He said, no. He never beat me. Sabu never beat me.
No.
Because I said, Jesse, why you don't? He said, no, you gave me my very first match. You like my mentor, man. He said, would nobody even touch me after I wrestle you? So, I mean, we wrestled against one another. I ended up beating his team.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, I don't know why, so he finally told me, said, you like a mentor to me. You gave my very first match and when nobody give him, he said, for weeks, he said, Sheik asked me to go out there and wrestle when nobody around, 'cause he was just starting. He was young, but he was good. He was good.
Yeah.
You know, and I told him, you learn more as you go on, you're going down the road, man. So, like I said, over in Japan, he wouldn't beat me. WCW, he wouldn't beat me. With Warnshak, Gary Warnshak, I don't know what he run. I don't forgot now what he ran, but he wouldn't beat me at his show. What he run, the guy run the push, he wouldn't beat me. So we wrestled one another, but I always won.
Okay.
And
That's interesting.
I never figured that out, Rick. I didn't. I never figured that out right today.
I mean, he looked up to you, it sounded like. Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
So,
Yeah, I mean, we would meet on the road. He'd come in there and talk to me, and stuff. But,
yeah.
when I won World Class Championship Wrestling there in Marion, Ohio, it was me, him, and two more guys, big guys. And they was big as Sid Vicious.
Hmm.
For the World Championship belt. And I won the World Championship belt. Sabu could have won it, but he didn't win it.
Interesting. And
And
where
the
was
guy
this? Where was that?
was in Marion, Ohio.
Okay.
It was in Marion, Ohio there.
Okay. All right. I got time for one more story. You got anything else interesting that you want to say before I got to get out of here?
Yeah, I want to say, the time me and Sinister Minister. I always loved that guy, Sinister Minister.
Love the guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Him and Flying Andy Shane was us three when we got together. We the most popular guy. But me and Sinister, did he tell you about the arm wrestling we did?
I think so. I believe so. Yeah.
That was the funny thing you ever want to see. I kept from trying to break character because the way we was doing. I had Bob Loose behind me and somebody. He had some guys behind him, and we going, and they act like it was a boxing match. The way we was doing. Calypso almost got it. He almost got it. No. And the Senators are coming back. No, there go Calypso. And then we had the guy now is Bruiser Jr. We had him there. He was at the time, he was the Golden Lion.
Okay.
Because Bruiser couldn't stand that guy. he couldn't stand it. But I do have one more story before I go off.
Sure. Absolutely.
The one that I'm going to tell you won't believe. We was in Fort Wayne, Indiana. He was married to Bruiser's daughter, too.
Who was?
Tim Reploga, the Golden Lion. He was
Okay.
Bruiser Jr. That's how he got the name Bruiser Jr.
Okay.
Okay. They brought Spike Huber there, her ex-husband, to wrestle. We down at the arena getting paid. That's the reason I always like, pay me when I get there because I might have something to do. So we waiting to get paid. Bruiser Jr. is paid. He's got everybody payroll. He's sitting there just talking. While he's sitting there talking, and then this is a true story. Spike Huber go and rent a U-Haul and move his whole family. He did that, Rick. Moved his whole family back to Mississippi.
Oh, man.
Where he got a business at right today. He's got a business. And stuff. And I'm going like, there's two sides to that story.
Right.
Maybe Bruiser Jr. wanted to get rid of her. Or she just wanted to go back to her. I mean, we spoke every time we seen one another. Little Spike always was set and tell me a joke. He go, I got a joke for you. I said, okay. I said, I didn't listen at him. But that was something else. Dr. Jerry Graham was there. We had a guy from TNA there, too. But he came save me, a tall guy. Can't remember his name right now. I was wrestling Flying Andy Shane. But that was a true story that happened. I'm going like, wow.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, and Bruiser Jr., Tim Repload is a good guy. He is,
Yeah.
but I don't think that hurt him too much. But I think he just got used to the kids. But you
Right.
know, he ended up getting divorced and moved on in his life. You know,
It happens. Trust me. I've been there.
I've been there too, but not like that.
Yeah. It's definitely not easy. So, you know,
No,
yeah.
it's not.
Yeah.
But I was enough. The Lord blessed me with one. We've been together, all together, 30 years.
Oh, congratulations. That's awesome.
We dated for 5 years. We were friends for 5 years.
Okay.
And the last 20 years, we've been married, been together ever since.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I've been with my wife for 11 years now. We dated for a year, then got married, and we have a young guy, a little young kid, and you know, we're just keeping it busy and
Yeah,
trying to keep our life together.
that's the way you got to do it, man. But I understand that, you know, wrestling is good, but I had to stop wrestling for a while, you know, and I become a deacon in training,
Okay.
and then I become an ordained deacon.
Congratulations. That's amazing. I recently have found the Lord, if you will. Just giving my life to Christ over the summer. So
Oh, yeah, I've been doing it ever since 94, really.
that's
I
amazing.
went to church this lady asked before I become a pastor.
Hmm.
She asked me to come to church. I didn't go to church. I went one New Year's night. So I didn't want to hear all that shooting going on, you know, how they shoot the guns on New Year's night.
Right.
And I've been at that church ever since. I ended up being a minister, an ordained minister. And then I ended up being a pastor. So I go to two churches, one in Huntersburg, Indiana. I preach there. My wife is the minister. And then we preach at our regular church in Indianapolis, Indiana. And I live in Louisville, but I drive there every Sunday.
Okay.
Every Sunday. Huntersburg is
Wow.
about 80 miles. On the fourth Sunday, we drive there because that's where my wife preached at there. I have preached in Evansville, Indiana. They invited me to come to Michigan. It's on this side of Detroit where his church is at. It's a big church. Looked like it hold about 4,000 or 5,000 people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he asked me to come preach at his church. He's an ex-wrestler. And I told him, I said, yeah, I would. I said, I'll come preach. He said, I see you preaching everywhere. I said, yeah, I'll come preach. I gave my life to the Lord a long time ago, man. But sometimes you get off track when them divorces hit you and stuff.
Yeah. And, you know, my wife had been trying to get me to church. I didn't go for like 30 years. And I put up a fuss when she kept trying to get me to go to church down the road. I finally went. And it changed my life. That was this past July. And I think in August I got baptized. So
Yeah, I preach Sunday.
yeah.
You know, God said it's your time.
Yeah. Yes.
And I got a lot of encouraging words from that. A lot of encouraging words.
Yeah. Yeah. Calypso, I want to say thank you for coming in, and I would love to have you come back here in the future, if you will.
Anytime, just let me know. Anytime.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rick. And you have a blessed evening.
You too, sir.